Hi everyone, and welcome to my new Abyss Actor deck profile. I thought I'd post an updated list as I have changed my strategy quite a bit since last time. For this list, I tried to build something a bit different than what I usually do, and I thought seeing as hand traps are not great in the meta right now, I've decided to run a large Kaiju package in the deck. This allows me to push through boards more easily, and at the same time allows me to push for more damage as well. In this video, I will also show a new 2-card OTK combo that someone showed recently on Discord, which is quite a fun one. So to start with, I'll go through the Abyss Actor cards very quickly. If you don't know what they do and want a more detailed description of the cards, I'd recommend watching my first video as I do go in depth for those cards and that. Now to begin with, we play 3 copies of Abyss Actor Superstar, 3 copies of Mellow Madonna, and 3 copies of Curtain Raiser. Next we play 3 Wild Hope, the 1 copy of Sassy Rookie, 3 Comic Relief, and for the Abyss Actor monsters, last ones I play are 3 Abyss Actor extras. I max out on every single card that is involved in a 2-card OTK combo in this deck, besides Sassy Rookie, as Sassy Rookie is just quite good for sticking around if you don't manage to OTK or it helps you hold on for a turn or two. The new OTK combo involves a copy of extras and a copy of Wild Hope, which is why I think it's essential to max out on every single one of these cards. Next, I run 2 copies of Rise of the Abyss King, 3 copies, and 2 copies of Abyss Tainment. I think you need to run Abyss King at 3 because it just allows you to play through established boards so well. It just allows you to bait, negate, supply pressure early on. If you special summon out a Curtain Raiser and then normal summon a Wild Hope, for example, and you've got 2 Rise of the Abyss King in your hand, that's 2 pops that you could potentially have on your opponent's board, so you're basically forcing out negates before you go through with your combo plays, which is really nice. And Abyss Tainment has to be played at 2 because it's needed for some of the OTK combos. I'm running a 42 card deck because of this card, as seeing it in the hand is not great at all. It's more often than not just a brick or a win more card. It's not terrible, but it's enough for me to not want to see it in my opening hand too often. I'll now go through the Kaiju package that I run. I play the 1 copy of Jizukura. This is the highest attack Kaiju, and so I run it so that I can summon it off with Kaiju Slumber, and if I do draw it, it's fine, as it's just easily destroyed with Rise of the Abyss King. I play 3 copies of Godarla. This is a great main deck card, as there are 2 meta decks right now that main the Wind Barrier statue, which is the Leerless Bird Up and the Flunderies. So having this just easily accessible is great. I run 2 copies of Gamma Seal just because it's the lowest attacking Kaiju, and also Superstar can be over it, which is nice. And lastly, for the Kaiju package, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This card is really good right now as it's just an absolute board breaker, as most decks only really run 1 Omni Negate, so if you can Kaiju it or bait it out, then you can just clear the boards and summon out a large attack body for yourself. Most end boards do not have non-targeting instruction protection as well, which is nice. Another thing to note about why this works so well with Abyss Actors is that it leaves 1 monster on your opponent's field, which is necessary for most of your OTK combos to work. So there are some circumstances where if your opponent leaves an empty board, I could normal summon a Wild Hope, for example, activate the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, give them a monster, give myself a big monster as well, and then I can OTK through that, which is really nice. The Kaiju package overall is just a really good engine for Abyss Actors, as it helps you get over large monsters that have protection, such as Dragoon, and it adds more damage to your field if you special summon a Kaiju yourself. It doesn't conflict with the Abyss Actor plays either. They are also superior to hand traps in that they can be drawn after your opponent's turn and still be useful. I also think that taking apart an established final board is a lot more devastating than stopping your opponent's initial plays, as this makes it harder for your opponent to recover as soon as they burn through more resources. A big problem with Abyss Actors is that if they don't OTK, they themselves are wide open for OTK because you don't leave any interruptions or negations on the field, and so lessening your opponent's chance of doing that by having them burn through the resources helps to really avoid that. For the rest of the deck, I just play the 1 copy of Tour Guide. It's a nice one-of, helps me see my OTK combos more often as it allows me to special summon out Comic Relief and link it off. And if I really open well, I can use it to put up a negate and help protect my combo. It is quite a weak normal summon, so I would only recommend using it if you do have follow-up, as if they Ash this, Veiler, Imperm, Gamma, then your plays are pretty much over for the turn. For the generic spells, I run 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. Besides Hyper Director, we don't really need the extra deck, so this is a great card for accessing our kaijus or combo pieces. We also don't draw, so it's really good. The drawbacks of the card basically aren't really drawbacks in this deck. We then run 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This is a very versatile card for the deck, helps us draw more cards or helps us remove problematic monsters. If our combo gets hand trapped, we can draw to access more pieces to continue our plays. So yeah, just a great board breaker and also great extender if necessary. I play 1 copy of Called by the Grave. This is just great for removing hand traps. Helps our combo go through. If they want to Ash Madonna, Veiler, or Hyper Director, then we can use Called by the Grave and continue our combo from there. Then we play 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, and to finish things off we also play the 1 copy of Red Reboot. These are in here because there are so many decks that just run back row at the minute, which means you get a lot of value by main decking these 2 cards, and not many people expect them in game 1 either. If you open up a Harpy's Feather Duster or a Red Reboot and also combo, you're pretty much going to win the game because there's not much that can interrupt you from there. I'll now go into the extra deck. So for Link Monsters I play 3 copies of Hyper Director, 1 copy of Gravity Controller. Gravity Controller is just an excellent and easily accessible removal option due to you being able to special summon your pendulum monsters to the extra monster zone. You can then bring out Gravity Controller, so it's very nice for that. I then run 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, just generic removal, really helpful for getting rid of things like Imperial Order, for example. And then I also run the 1 copy of Borreload Dragon. This is again just for removal really. We don't really ever go into it, so this is a highly flexible spot. The only one that's not flexible, I'd say, is the Hyper Director. Now for the Xyz monsters. I run 1 copy of the Lyrilusk Assembled Nightingale. You can make this really easily by special summoning in extras and then normal summoning the extras, and then maybe going into a Zeus. This helps apply a lot of board pressure, just gives you an alternative win condition. We also play the 1 copy of Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This is for going first if you need to, or if you open really well with your tour guide, you can make this going second to protect your combos. We then also play the 1 copy of Downward Magician. This is for the Lyrilusk plays. We also have Raiders Knight and Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. This is for OTKing. It does come up sometimes, and also the Rebellion Dragon negate effect is very, very nice. It just helps us push through boards, gives non-targeting removal essentially. Lastly, we play the 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Nova. This is to bring out a copy of Mechaba. This doesn't conflict with Pot of Extravagance, by the way, because you're likely going to bring this out on your opponent's turn and they'll probably be going first, which is quite nice. And then we also run a copy of Zeus. And then lastly, 1 copy of Elder Entity and Tis. This is again for the Dogmatica matchup, just because we've got a lot of space in the extra deck. These extra deck slots are very, very flexible with changing them out essentially. Now for the new 2-card OTK combo. It involves Abyss Actor Wild Hope and Abyss Actor Extras. As I said at the start, there was someone on the Discord, I'll leave their name down in the description for credit, that came across this. It's quite a fun OTK combo as it requires you to tribute summon Mellow So what you want to do here to start it off is you want to scale your extras and you want to special summon your extras. You're going to use Extras effect, tributing itself, to scale a Curtain Raiser from your deck. You're then going to want to special summon the Curtain Raiser, and now you're going to activate Curtain Raiser's effect and you want to dump Rise of the Abyss King. This is important as it does need to be Rise of the Abyss King you dump here, and you add back your extras. You'll now link your Curtain Raiser for a copy of Hyper Director. You'll now scale extras again and use Hyper Director's effect to special summon the extras, and you want to scale Mel Madonna here. Now you're going to use Madonna's effect to add the Superstar, and now you're going to activate Wild Hope's effect. You're going to activate it in scale, and then you're going to use the effect of Wild Hope, and you're going to make Madonna Pendulum Scale 9. You're then going to Pendulum Summon your Superstar, and you're going to Pendulum Summon your Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. You're going to use Superstar's effect to set a copy of Abyss Tainment. You're now going to activate Abyss Tainment. You're going to tribute off your Abyss Actor extras, and you're going to set your copy of Rise of the Abyss King that was in the graveyard. You're then going to activate Rise of the Abyss King. You're going to pop both of your scales, both the Madonna and the Wild Hope. And then you're going to use Hope's effect to add yourself a copy of Comic Relief to hand. You're going to scale the Comic Relief. You're now going to activate Curtain Raiser's on-field effect. It's not a hard once per turn memory, it's just a soft once per turn, so because it's summoned back we can use it again. So here we're going to dump our second copy of Abyss Tainment. Again, this is why I need to run 2, unfortunately. And you're going to add back your copy of Mellow Madonna. You're going to tribute summon Madonna using your Curtain Raiser and Hyper Director. And now you're going to use the Abyss Tainment effect again, tributing your Superstar to set your other copy of Abyss Tainment. This will trigger Madonna's effect that allows her to special summon a level 4 or lower Abyss Hatcher from deck, and what we want to special summon is our copy of Comic Relief. This is the standard OTK combo setup for Abyss Hatchers now. What you want to do is you want to activate Comic Relief's scale effect, which is a creature swap. You want to target your Comic Relief and a monster that your opponent controls. You switch control of these monsters, and then this Comic Relief will pop your set copy of Abyss Tainment. Abyss Tainment effect triggers, and you can special summon as many Abyss Hatchers from your deck as you like. So, for example, we will grab a copy of Wild Hope, copy of Superstar, and another Madonna. And now we can use these 2 Superstars to set Rise of the Abyss King again, destroy our opponent's board, and then push for OTK. Hopefully you found that combo useful. I would say that to pilot this deck and to win regularly, you do need to learn all these OTK combos. Just in case you haven't seen my other videos, I do go through them as well. But for memory's sake, the 2 OTK combos that you do get with this deck are Extras plus Curtain Raiser, Extras plus Superstar, Extras plus Madonna, and Extras plus Hope. And then you've got Comic Relief and Superstar, Comic Relief and Madonna, and Comic Relief and Extras. So if you memorize all of those 2 card OTK combos, you're in a good spot to break your opponent's board and make sure you OTK. Because as I said earlier, if you don't OTK, you're really just leaving an open board for your opponent to play into. That runs up the deck profile and the combo. I'll do a replay video as well, showing what this deck does against some of the meta decks too, showing off some of the combos in a real life kind of duel scenario, but also if we're playing through interruption, how to maybe bait those interruptions to ensure our combo goes through, or how to adapt our combo through those kind of interruptions. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.